Hello, everybody. I'm Anne Marie. She's Janet, and we've got a juicy one this week.
Juicy. Yummy.
Well, controversial.
Controversy
for
is
sure.
good.
And our
It'll be
fans,
interesting to see if we agree or disagree with each other. I think on some points we're going to agree, and on others,
we haven't
shockingly, we'll disagree.
I did want to say, before we get to some of the comments from our fans, that we are so close to 2,000 friends.
Isn't that great?
Come on. Spread the word a little more. All we need is 22 more, and we're over the 2,000 mark.
Henry, that would be 122.
Oh, sorry,
She was an English major, a Russian government major. Math,
122, 22, 122.
Well, we have
all
close to 1,900 fans, so if each of you contacted one friend and told them to fan us, look, we'd be at 4,000 fans.
Wouldn't that be great?
That excites you?
That would turn out. But so our subject of the week is the controversy in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
A good one. It's
Which has been a controversy for decades. The locker room itself.
And you experienced that controversy,
right? Who belongs? Do women belong in sports? Period is the start of it. Let alone do they then belong in a locker room.
Are we still talking about whether women belong in sports?
Isn't that sad?
You think?
Yes, I absolutely. Well, here's an example of it. To be able to do your job in sports, if it includes a locker room, then we are talking about should women be allowed to do sports, because part of a job of a particularly sideline reporter, a television reporter, or radio includes a locker room. And what this woman, Ines Sainz,
did you ever look like that? Did you ever look like
that? In my dreams.
Well, I mean, honestly, I guess, and it's interesting because most of our friends weighed in on this issue, and they said she asked for it.
Should have known better.
She deserved it because she asked for it.
She did not ask for it.
I know. I agree with you on that part of it.
You know why I know that? I'm going to say why I know that.
Please.
Because it relates to what she just recently said and did. She recently said, hey, I dress the way I always dress. Here's a picture of me. And she sent that picture to the media going, what's wrong with this? This is how I dress. Meaning she has no clue that that might be or might not be the best way to go when you walk into a locker room. To her, this is who I am. I'm a working reporter. I'm good looking. My clothes may be tight, but that's my persona. That's who I am.
To some extent, I agree with you. Okay, let me make my point. So stay calm. All right, please. Okay, let me make my point. This is not just about locker rooms. It's about time. Today, there's a story in the Boston media, anyway, about a radio producer who commented on...
Read that. That was fascinating.
It commented on this woman who's a candidate for state treasurer in Massachusetts, perfectly respectable woman, actually looks a lot like our producer, Lila, but perfectly respectable, and here's what the producer said. And I find this as reprehensible as what happened in the locker room. The producer said, I think she's hot, she's tiny, she's short, she's got a banging little body on her. Facial-wise, I give her about a 7. Body-wise, I give her about an 8.5. Tight little butt. I endorse Karen Polito. That's who this lady is. And what bothers me. It bothers me that was said. It bothers me that it was said on the air. It's reprehensible. It's unacceptable for sure. But you made a very good point before we went on the air, and that is, women talk about men being a hunk of men all the time.
Absolutely.
That Tom Brady talk about his tight little butt.
For some reason, it's cute when we do it. I'm not going to lie to you.
I know.
And I don't know.
Obama without his shirt on, that was
handsome hunk of man. We know. But for some reason, I don't know. I think the difference is, and you and our fans can argue with me on this one, and you may as well. I don't feel it's as degrading. What happened to Ines Sainz felt like she was being treated like a piece of meat, a piece of ass, all right? When you say that Obama, he's a hunk of man, it's kind of lighthearted. And maybe I'm putting a different set of standards.
You're not in a locker room with no clothes on. I think the setting also is important.
Well, the setting in a radio station calling a candidate with a tight butt, that's totally inappropriate.
And where does that come from? What kind of man thinks like that? I mean, it's...
And then he was supported by his hosts. You saw that this was the producer who said that, and the host thought it was lighthearted and fun. And again, there is a locker room mentality to much of the media, I think, male media, particularly sports radio shows.
A lot of penis
male
radio, a lot of
talk
penis
shows. Yeah,
talk.
absolutely.
A lot of penis talk.
But you know
I
what?
turn it off. I can't listen to it.
But let's give the other side of the coin. If you watch The View, you are going to hear the other side. You're going to hear women certainly talking about men as a cute piece of, right?
Meat.
You will hear
It's like
Tom.
reminds me of Lady Gaga's dress, the meat dress.
Oh God, that was disgusting.
Well, she said because that's
Lord,
what men
Miss Cook
think
it.
is-
It's the raw meat that makes me
Yeah, it was
crazy.
pretty
Raw
disgusting.
meat on your head.
That's pretty horrible.
But again, I think there is a separate set of standards for some reason. Maybe because historically we have been so degraded as a gender that we're still very super sensitive to it.
Maybe.
And when we're the victims, like Ines, even though she claims, by the way, as everybody may know by now, that she says she was not offended by what happened in the Jets locker room, the catcalls and the booty this. She felt that it was lighthearted and humorous. But what is interesting, and I will salute our team, the New England Patriots, and because I believe this is not about Ines, I think this is about the New York Jets, I think this is about men. Tom Brady said that would not happen in our locker room. What that says
It's more,
to me,
yeah, it's more of a, I think it's more
these
of an
are
attitude
professionals,
and it's a
they
setting.
need to. You
It's
need
a
to
setting.
behave appropriately as a professional football player. If some good-looking woman walks into your locker room,
Yeah,
you
but
do your interview. After she leaves, if
But-
you want to rib her with your friends, go right
How do
ahead.
you
But to
explain
her
that?
face,
She didn't wear provocative pants. She didn't do anything. She happens to be
I
attractive.
would be interested
and a
to
woman.
see the reverberations from
Yeah,
that.
I think
Where
that's
that-
disgusting.
And would you, as a public relations professional, would you advise her to remain silent on this?
Yeah, I think the controversy is going on around her.
I would,
and
if
I think
I were
it's
her,
a
I
bigger
would
issue.
let it swirl around
Yeah.
her and I wouldn't say a word.
And it's
I
a
wouldn't
bigger.
say a
It's
word.
honestly, it's a bigger issue. Come on, guys. How do you feel? Let us know how you feel. It's a big issue.
It's a huge issue,
It's
and
a
it's,
huge
as
issue.
you said, even
Although-
isn't it sad that it's still an issue?
But may I also say,
But it is.
I wouldn't mind. You're gonna kill me for
that
this
you,
one.
if you had a booty like Ines Sainz.
If somebody would call my butt tight, little, and cute.
See, isn't that now that just ruined the whole thing? But that's our girl. Thank you, Anne Marie Eichner, and thank you, everybody. See you next week.